All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to unpack a pretty massive financial transformation today. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't happen at $1 million. Nope, it happens at a surprisingly achievable milestone, $20,000. We've all been sold this financial myth, right? This idea that you absolutely need $1 million, or at least some massive six-figure portfolio, to finally feel wealthy and secure. Society basically trains us to stare up at this gigantic seven-figure mountain. And honestly, we just feel defeated before we even take the very first step. But here's the truth. The fundamental rules of the money game, they actually change when you cross a much smaller, highly specific threshold, 20 grand. It's totally achievable, yet it fundamentally alters how money operates in your day-to-day life.
So, what if the magic wealth number isn't $1 million? This exact 20K number is literally the secret barrier separating people who build significant wealth from those who spend their entire lives just stuck paycheck to paycheck. It rewires your brain and it permanently rewires your financial math. And once you know this threshold exists, you really can't unsee it.
Section 1. The $20,000 Secret. Think about building wealth like trying to move a massive, incredibly heavy stone. Before you hit 20 grand, you are literally pushing a boulder up a steep hill, fighting gravity the whole way. You're sweating, you're straining, you're probably questioning if it's even worth it. But $20,000? That is the crest of the hill. Right at that exact point, gravity suddenly flips. It starts working for you, pulling that wealth forward. Momentum just takes over, and the boulder rolls down the other side almost completely on its own.
Section 2. Escaping survival mode.
Now, this tipping point isn't just about the math. Actually, the most profound change happens entirely in your psychology. See, when you don't have savings, your brain gets completely stuck in survival mode. Every single choice is filtered through fear and scarcity. You might take a bad job just because you can't afford to be picky. It's effectively like trying to plan a super relaxing beach vacation while your house is actively burning down. Your brain just cannot focus on long-term growth when it's entirely consumed by immediate everyday threats.
But crossing that 20K threshold, it creates a massive shift in your internal dialogue. It finally allows your brain to stop frantically reacting to financial fires and start proactively designing your wealth. You shift away from that panicked, how do I survive until my next paycheck, and you finally gain the precious mental bandwidth to ask, okay, how can I actually grow this money?
And Vanguard actually has the data to back this up beautifully. The research shows that just saving 2 grand boosts your financial well-being by 21% just by giving you a tiny little buffer. But reaching that $20,000 mark, which is roughly 3 to 6 months of expenses for a lot of folks, adds another 13%. It creates the ultimate breathing room. You're no longer just trying to preserve what little you have. Your brain is now totally freed up to build real wealth.
Section 3. The math of momentum.
So let's look at how this turns into an unstoppable, compounding mathematical force. It's all about the shrinking timeline. If you're saving, say, $1,000 a month at an 8% return, getting that first 20 grand takes 19 months of pure grinding discipline. But the second 20,000, that only takes 17 months. Why? Because your money is now in there helping you pull the weight. Fast forward to when you have a $400,000 portfolio and your investments are generating that same $20,000 in just 5 months. Automatically.
Wealthy people aren't relying on secret, invite-only hedge funds. They're just relying on scale. It's where your existing money works right alongside your monthly contributions. Look, a 10% return on 2 grand is $200. Nice, but it's not going to change your life. But 10% on 20 grand, that's $2,000. If you've got 20 grand invested at 8%, that's $1,600 a year flowing into your account. You didn't have to lift a single finger for it.
Section 4. The identity shift. Accumulating this initial foundation actually forces a massive identity shift. You're proving to yourself that you can delay gratification, that you control your money instead of letting it control you. And once you prove that, your focus totally changes. You stop agonizing over those irrelevant micro decisions, the $3 coffees or buying the generic cereal, and you free up your mental energy for the big, strategic macro decisions, the stuff that actually swings your net worth by tens of thousands of dollars, like where you choose to live, what you drive, and your overall investment strategy.
Suddenly, things that used to be totally month-ruining emergencies, like your car breaking down or your laptop just dying on you, they just become minor inconveniences. Annoying, sure, but not devastating. Plus, you start noticing these lucrative opportunities you literally couldn't afford to consider before. Throwing $5,000 at a buddy's startup, putting a down payment on a rental property, or just paying out of pocket for a huge career conference. Having money creates the opportunity to make more money.
Section 5. Walking away money.
This is where having this exact amount of money fundamentally alters your entire career trajectory and your leverage in life. The crucial point here is that 20 grand is your walking away money. When you live paycheck to paycheck, you're trapped, period. But with this foundation, you suddenly have this secret superpower. You can confidently ask for raises, push back on toxic bosses, and take major career risks. You don't even have to actually use the money. Just knowing in the back of your head that you could quit tomorrow and survive for months allows you to negotiate from a position of total strength. And honestly, that kind of confidence naturally attracts a lot more success and income.
But listen, you have got to avoid the fatal trap here. Do not blow this hard-earned foundation on some shiny new reward the second you feel that psychological relief. No new cars, no lavish luxury vacations. This money isn't a reward for good behavior. It is the vital seed that is going to grow into your complete financial independence.
Let's look at a prime example of how people accidentally destroy this foundation. Cars. The average person spends over $400,000 on transportation in their lifetime. Between the car payments, the insurance, the gas, the maintenance, they're dropping hundreds of dollars a month, complaining that they'll never be able to retire, all while actively destroying their wealth on depreciating assets. Assets that literally lose 20% of their value the exact minute they drive them off the lot. It's crazy. But when you start filtering your decisions through opportunity cost, the whole picture changes. You realize that a $30,000 car isn't just 30 grand today. It is literally robbing you of over $200,000 of future freedom in your investment account over the next 20 years. When you truly grasp that math, driving an older, reliable car doesn't feel like a sacrifice at all. Actually, it feels like a highly strategic, genius choice to fund your own future. So this $20,000 milestone, it really is the difference between just surviving and truly thriving. It completely rewires how you view money, stress, and opportunity. Which leaves us with one final thought to wrap up this explainer. Will you just continue to merely react to your financial life, letting things happen to you? Or are you going to start building this foundation today to intentionally design the life you want? The choice is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I really hope this changes how you look at your next big financial milestone.